Hey, welcome back to the show. This is Relax Radio with me, Nick. Keeping you guys company, keeping you guys entertained all the way until 6 p.m. That's right. We're talking about a lot of these things that is happening in the UK. And one of this right now is that UNICEF is warning, that the UK funding cut by 60% is going to make children suffer. Yeah, that's right. That is one of the main topics that is going on right now in the UK and across, the UK because, this I don't know if you guys remember we were talking about how the UK is planning on banning all of these, on reducing their budgets actually for overseas aid and all of that. So yeah, the UK is to cut 60%. The UK government is cutting 60% of its funding to UNICEF, the United Nations Children's Fund, as part of its move to reduce spending on foreign aid. Yeah, that's right. They're trying to reduce on foreign aid, like I was saying. They're trying to do most of that money. What they're trying to do exactly is before you guys start judging and say, "Oh no, what is the UK even doing?" They don't even remember people on abroad and the people who are suffering overseas. Well, the first thing is that you got to remember right now we are going through a pandemic, and we as a country, as a nation, we require the money as well. Like I said, although they're cutting off the donations, they're not cutting it off completely as of yet. What they're trying to do is right now they are just reducing the funds as much as they can, because this is mostly got to do with the issues of the pandemic in the country and the dose requirements for the dose. So this is just going to be a very, very temporary measure. So it means that the UN agency, which distributes humanitarian aid to children around the world, will get 16 million pounds this year, down from 40 million pounds. So yeah, that's just something right there, that is going on. And UNICEF warned of serious consequences for children, particularly those affected by COVID-19. Yeah, so the Foreign Office said the pandemic has forced it, to make tough decisions. And yeah, that's right. Because of the pandemic right now, it's very understandable. The situation doesn't look like it is getting, any better, especially when taking a look at things, overseas and in the UK as well. So yeah, the government announced it would be cutting UK aid spending from 0.7% of national income to 0.5%, which amounts to a reduction of more than £4 billion. That's right. So some MPs defended the cuts at the time as being backed by the public, with some politicians arguing that domestic spending should come first during the pandemic. So yeah, this cut is the latest to be announced as aid charities and agencies begin to reveal the impact of the government's reduced overseas development budget. So in a statement, the UK Committee for UNICEF said it was deeply concerned by the decision. Well, they're saying, the UK Committee for UNICEF said that they're really concerned, especially when it comes to these cuts on the national aids and stuff like that. And it said that the agency had been able to respond to most of the pressing education, protection, and health needs of children affected by COVID in 2020, thanks to the UK government funding. And yeah, they're saying, all of these things that they are bringing up right now, and they're saying, it's mostly got to do with the UK funding. So all, the issues, like I said, is circulating right now in the UK. And, it went on to say that it was too soon to know the full impact of this and future cuts on the UNICEF program. But were concerns that children living, in some of the world's worst crisis and conflicts would suffer the consequences. And it's going to be heavy, especially when it comes to children like this, who will be mostly affected by these cuts on the just one. So it just goes to show, the issues right now. And yeah, UNICEF also acknowledged the challenging financial situation facing governments, but called on the UK government to return to spending 0.7% of the national income on foreign aid from 2022 at the latest. So at the latest, this is what's going to be happening. So in case you guys are wondering, this is the latest decisions that the UK government has decided upon. So yeah, spokesperson for the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office said the seismic impact of the pandemic on the UK economy has forced us to take tough but necessary decisions. And this includes, temporarily reducing the overall amount we spend on aid. And we'll be spending more than 10 billion this year to fight poverty, tackle climate change, and improve global health. So yeah, this is just some of the things, that the government right now is focusing to do. And yeah, that's the issues, circulating around all of these. And yeah, like I was saying, it just goes to show you that it also emerged that the United Nations, like I said earlier this week, that there was an internal foreign office memo which said funding for global water, sanitation, and hygiene bilateral projects would be cut by more than 80%, prompting a lot of criticism from charity water aid. So yeah, they are complaining about this and they're saying, how can you cut 80% of the funding? So it also emerged that the United Nations Global Family Planning Program would not receive 150 million pounds for its project as it's pledged by the UK, and and would instead get around 23 million pounds this year. So asked about the cuts, Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the government had always been clear it's intended to return to spending 0.7% of national income on aid when it was fiscally prudent to do so. So essentially, what Boris Johnson is trying to say is that they made it clear that, hey, as long as we're financially stable, we can make sure to be giving back those aids, those benefits, 0.7% of the income, of the national income. So separately, though, the UK government has given 8 million to help tackle disinformation and inaccurate news reportings around the globe. So Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said it will allow to take partial. There's a lot of these things, and the money also that comes on top of previous fundings for a lot of these programs was launched in back in 2017, and all of this, there is, like I said, it's all that's got to do with the media is what the UK has been also spending upon. And yeah, that just goes to show what is happening in the UK is just it's crazy. The situation is crazy right now. I mean, with the budget cuts and the plans to continue the foreign, all of this, with the plans to continue the vaccine and get the vaccine going and rolling out across the UK. These are just some of the things that we have to do as a whole. I mean, it's not something that's really great, nothing to be proud of, but sometimes these things happen, and we gotta, like I said, we gotta first look inwards before we can focus on other countries across the world. We'll have to focus on what is happening in the UK, and when it comes to these global fundings and all of that, all of these aid help and reports, it's just a part of what is going on. It's just a part of the whole. It's just a little bit of the whole right now, and just how it is at the moment. So yeah, a lot of this is it is circulating. Like, people are not quite happy, especially these charities that are being mostly affected by this. A lot of these charities, because of that, they're losing their funding, and not, like I said, 60 to 70% of their funding is going down, and they are not really really happy about it, and they are complaining about it. But sometimes these things happen. As a country right now, we are not financially or economically right now 100% stable as we were compared before this whole virus situation even emerged. So yeah, it just goes to show we'll have to sacrifice a little bit before we can return back to all normalcy. And once we do get back to normalcy, though, once we do get everything back to normal and everything, the situation clears up, hopefully we can then return all of these, the UK funding, like all of these aid and fundings, back to the appropriate parties that need it, the countries that need it, and the places that need it. So yeah, this just it's just what it is, with the situation right now in the UK going and rising at the moment. Hopefully everything will get back to the way it was once everything goes back to normal. I mean, that's just something we can hope for. And since we're talking about all the pandemic stuff going on, there's also rules on care home and hospital visits that are being eased, in case you guys are wondering. So changes to hospital and care home visiting in Northern Ireland will take effect from this Friday, the Department of Health has announced. So yeah, the new rules apply to care settings such as maternity, hospitals, hospices, and care homes, and will be rolled out in 4-week blocks. So yeah, Health Minister Robin Swan said visiting had only been restricted because it was absolutely necessary. And that now is the time. The time is right now to carefully reintroduce all of this visiting, he said. And the first 2 phases of changes will involve how care home visits being increased from 1 to 2 a week, each lasting for 1 hour. So yeah, this could rise to a 3-hour long visit after a review in 2 weeks time. Hopefully people, who have, loved ones in these care homes or hospices will be able to get to back, will be able to get back to visiting their family again. And children will also be permitted to visit, and hand holding will be allowed, although aprons and masks will still need to be worn according to the guidance. And yeah, these are all just the guidelines, what they are planning. And they're saying, hey, although this is, the what we want to do, although you're allowed to come and visit your family members in these care homes and elder homes, but make sure you guys wear your mask, and and wear those aprons that are required according to the law set by the government. So yeah, the residents may resume outdoor trips without having to isolate on their return, bringing Northern Ireland into line with other parts of the UK. So yeah, the move has been welcomed as a step in the right direction by Older People's Commission Eddie Lynch. So yeah, he further said, that the importance of having frequent personal contact with family and the impact this has on the health and well-being of older people is well documented. And he said, I understand there will be some people, though, who feel that the scale and pace of change is not quick enough. I mean, it is, with the situation, I understand where you guys are coming from. It is not going to be enough, when it comes to pacing, when it comes to, visiting your parents or visiting your loved ones, because I get it. You want to be, we're in a hurry, because at the same time, we are valuing the relationships that we have right now. In a way, the pandemic, it wakes you up and makes you realize, hey, I value the relationships that I've had all this time. It makes you want to appreciate it more. And because of that, you want a hasty return back to normalcy and being able to meet your loved one, even for many months you've not seen them. And it's understandable what is going on. And, he says, further that the People's Commissioner Eddie Lynch said that he believes that this pathway offers a balanced and measured approach where visitation rights are being increased at a pace proportionate to the level of the risk. So from Friday, hospital patients will be allowed to have one daily visit from 2 people from up to 2 households. So women can be accompanied by a nominated partner for any pregnancy-related appointments, such as well as, induction of labor to go up to 3 hours after birth. So yeah, the changes come as the Department of Health data show that more than 1.3 million people in Northern Ireland have had a COVID-19 vaccine. So yeah, the figures also include, all that is going on right now. One of this is that the figures includes 945,320 first doses, including 438,000 plus second doses. So yeah, this uptake among the over 80s is at 100%. So everyone between the ages of 80 and above have 100% received this vaccine, while 85% of those aged between 50 to 59 have had the jab as well. So yeah, back in February, restriction banning visits in all but the most limited circumstances were relaxed slightly to allow one visit by one person a week. So that is, correct. That is what is going on there in that situation as well. And, at the time, the health minister described the move as a milestone. And recently on a briefing, Bob Brown, the director of primary care and older people services at the Western Health Trust, said easing the restrictions was about balancing the human right to visit with the risk of infection. And he also said the process would be cautious and very sensible. Yeah, that's right. He was talking about all of these things that is going on. Yeah, hopefully, as time goes on, we can get back to normalcy. Like I keep saying, we got to get back to normalcy. And once we do, we can obviously, come back to seeing our, loved ones in these elder homes, hospices, and, be able to reconnect with them, because I know it must have been a really tough time for a lot of people, especially the elderly people. And this is a very important time and a very, very, very important milestone. It's a very marked milestone, right? With this happening, hopefully this can continue. And hopefully there will not be another lockdown in the nation. Let's see how it goes as time goes by. But with that being said, we're going to be taking a real quick break, though, and we will be right back, though, for the final few minutes of the show. And taking a look at your time right now, it is 5:47. Good evening. they're trying to bring up, all of these matters at hand. Like I said, most of this is, it's a very big issue with what Boris Johnson is doing, and he's not, he needs to make sure that all of his finances are transparent. He should be more transparent, because end of the day, you are running a country. You're the diplomat of the country, so you're supposed to represent, fairness and equality in the country, and you have to be the sign of honesty. You can't be expecting, honesty with other people when you can't be honest about yourself and where you're getting all of this money. That is the kind of issue that is going on in the UK, and people are not really satisfied with the answers that he's been given. It's like most of the answers he's doing is dodging the question outright. And and he says, like I said, it's mostly got to do with the row, and how these issues, like when the row started, it came out as a leak, and people found out that he spent more than £200,000 for designing in interior designing of his flat in Downing Street. So yeah, that's crazy stuff right there. I mean, people are obviously going to question you and going to ask questions, pertaining to that. And they're going to wonder, from where did you get your money? Like, who's even investing on you? What is going on? How is the prime minister of our country earning this much money, especially during a pandemic like this? Where do you even get the money? Where do you even get the time to invest? And who are your investors? That's the other thing that people are concerned about. And they want to know, who are these investors? Who are the people who are backing them up? A lot of them are saying it's these kind of conservative Tory party members, and they're backing up Boris Johnson, and they're donating and funding his lifestyle, his very rich and exuberant lifestyle. So this is just another concern that people are going on about, and Boris Johnson will need to answer this, sooner rather than later, because the more he dodges the question, the more people are going to ask, hey, what is going on, and why are you not trying to answer the question? What is going on? So hey, there's a simple saying though: if you are being honest, you don't have nothing to fear. But if you're lying, you'll try to avoid the question as much as possible. And this is what people are very suspicious about. Like, they're very, very suspicious about this. And they say, although he says it's his personal thing, there's nothing more to talk about it. People want to know, though, as a prime minister, you're earning so and so. How can you fund your lifestyle like this? I mean, that is, the kind of questions that is popping on in people's head these days. I mean, it's just a part of the whole, the whole thing, I guess. I guess in every country you'll have this, and anywhere around the world, there's always going to be these kind of issues. Just goes to show. But even though with these issues that is going on right now, or whatever accusation is being thrown at him, Boris Johnson is still doing a good job, and he's doing a great job, and he is going through with the roadmap as he promised, and trying to get everyone vaccinated by the time the end of the year, by the time the end of June hits. So yeah, that's just another thing that he's doing right. At least he's doing that right. And hey, that's more than enough for me in my part. I mean, hey, at least the country is being helped, and the people are being looked after, is what is really important right about now. And with that being said, it is about that time for me to bounce out of here, and catch you guys again tomorrow on the Real Talk. So make sure you guys tune in. Until then, though, I'll catch you guys tomorrow, same time, same place, same frequency. My name is Nick, and I'm out of here. Peace and much love.